So, good day everyone. I'm Angelica Ibeloso. Let me tell you a story about The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. I hope you listen carefully, understand, and observe the story. Let's get into The Telltale Heart. So, this story is told in the first person, and the first thing that our narrator tells us is, I'm not crazy. That is his whole motivation for telling his story I'm not crazy, and I'm gonna prove to you just how not crazy I really am. My only problem is my hearing. It's too good. I can hear everything in heaven, on earth, and even in hell. Then he tells us exactly what happened. So the narrator, we never get his name. He lives with an older man. He also never get his name and tell us that he's got no problem with the old man. Said he isn't mean to me, that he didn't shout at me. I wasn't after his money. I love this guy. It just his eye are really bugs me. Apparently, the old man's got a weird eye, kind of bluish, cloudy eye, and even it really freaks the narrator out. He calls it the vulture eye, and it bothers him so much that he decides he needs to kill the old man in order to get rid of his weird eye that is freaking him out. So, what happens, the narrator? Sneak into the old man's room every night for a week. He takes a lantern with them, and he pops lantern. He stick his head in the door. He pops the lantern open, and he looks at the old man. He watches the old man while he sleeps. However, the old man is asleep. His eyes are closed. The narrator can see the weird freaky eye, and so he can't bring himself to do the deed. He can't actually kill the old man. On the 8th night, while he's going through this little ritual, he opens the door, stick his head and his lantern in, pop his lantern open, but he makes a noise, and the old man's wake up. Through open eyes, he can see the freaky eye in the lantern light. So for a good seconds, nobody moves, and the narrator is kind of licking it. He can tell the old man is really scared. He thinks that he can hear his heart beating. He say it isn't a sound that a watch make. When it's enveloped in cotton, he could hear the old man's heart beating. It's getting louder, because he's frightened, and the narrator starts to panic. Like, if I can hear his heart, then his neighbors can probably hear his heart, and I'm gonna get caught. So, this is the last straw, and he attacks the old man. The old man managed to scream once before the narrator gets him and smothers him with his bed's clothes. The next thing he does is conceal the body, and this is gross. Sorry. He does it by cutting the body into pieces and hiding it in the floorboards of the bedroom. The old man's bedroom. About this time, there is a knock on the door. The police has arrived. Turns out a neighbor heard the old man scream and called the police to come over. The narrator, feeling pretty confident, he brings the police right inside. He tells them oh, well, that was actually me that you heard screaming because I had a bad dream. The old man, he's not even there. He's on a field trip out in the country, and he's not even around. But hey, by all means, search the house if that would make you happy. And he takes them around the house. He takes the police right into the old man's bedroom. He's just committed this crime and offers them to see it. Why you don't see it? And well, chat right here in the old man's bedroom. While he's sitting and chatting the police officer, the narrator starts to not feel so well. He starts to feel a little bit off, and he starts to get like some ringing in his ears. Well, the ringing starts to get worse and worse. And all of a sudden, he realized that it's not in ears. He's actually hearing something. There is something making noise, and he realized it is the sound that watch make when it's enveloped in a cotton. That's how he described it. So he started talking louder to cover the noise. And he started talking with his hands. And he gets up and marches around the room. And he's actually practically shouting at his point. Meanwhile, noise is getting louder and louder and louder. Meanwhile, the police are still acting like they can't hear. But the noise is getting louder and louder and louder. And the narrator realized they can hear it. They're just messing with me. So it's get louder and louder and louder and louder. Finally, the narrator cannot take it anymore. Last line of the story, villains. I Shrek disable no more. December means like messing with a meat quit, messing with my head. Disable no more. I admit that did tear up the flanks here. Here it is, the beating of his high news heart. So, thank you everyone for giving a time to listen my story about the Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. I hope you like it. Thank you.